ever heard about a company being proud of their privacy policy? Well, WeTransfer is. They don't sell user data, they don't snoop on files, and they don't want to know your shoe size or your shopping history. They're all about making file sharing easier for everyone, and worrying about your privacy is the opposite of that. WeTransfer has a simple, easy, and free upload and share process. There's no sign-in, no onboarding, no complicated file system. It's streamlined to get people in and out and back to doing what they really want to do as quickly as possible. Start sending files with WeTransfer and see what the company stands for on privacy at we.tl/notcreepy. That's we.tl/notcreepy. I like that. You make WeTransfer. Years before Kurt Kolstad joined the team at 99% Invisible, he and I started corresponding by email. Among other things, he sometimes sent over story ideas. And one of those was about an old Sears building he moved into in Minneapolis. It's not a Sears home, it's a Sears plant, a huge city block sized warehouse, distribution center, and retail store.
Yeah, and when I was really young, I used to actually go shopping in this thing. It was this 12-story Art Deco Sears. I'd go there with my parents. But for most of my years in Minnesota, it was just an abandoned building. I used to bike for miles along this overgrown railroad track that ran past the building in a trench. And at the time, that big complex was kind of this ominous presence that you just kind of slip past on your bike and not get too close to.
So you basically don't engage with it at all. It's not really something like you go up to, you just cycle past it quickly.
Yeah, it's just, and it took multiple city blocks, so it was really kind of, between the parking lot and the building, it was just this big empty presence in the city.
Right.
And then suddenly, I moved back to the Midwest years later, and this place is totally transformed. It had been renamed the Midtown Exchange, and it was full of all these little shops and eateries on the main floor, plus offices and apartments and condos above. And those old rail tracks that I'd biked along had been cleared and paved and turned into this 5-mile greenway, which was really neat. Sort of this ready-made rails to trails conversion.
Right.
And I got really interested in this, not just as a building, but also as an urban phenomenon, right? Like how they had turned this nothing into a something. So I naturally, being an architecture geek, started digging into the history of Sears.
So what did you find in your research?
Well, for starters, Richard Warren Sears himself was born in Minnesota, where he actually started selling watches in the late 1800s. Then over time, he moved operations to Chicago and started growing out this larger mail order business. And it basically became the Amazon of the early 20th century. And in the 1920s, they started branching out even more, adding retail outlets to their distribution centers, all the way from, Boston to Seattle.
And you've shown me pictures of these. They all look surprisingly similar, even though they're scattered across the entire U.S. They have some different brick styles, but they're all kind of boxy. They have big windows and other